What's up, pirates? I am coming to you with a new video based on Warcraft Classic, and we will be going over the classic version of Hunters, because this is my class. This is the class that I started way back in the original Classic, and it's what I've played all through all the expansions. It is the class that I really enjoy and is the class that I use all the time. And feel free to put your hunter jokes in the comments and show your hunter hatred, but I'm going to do it anyway, and there's nothing you can say to deter me from being a hunter, because I have always been determined to be that hunter that disproves the stereotype, that disproves every notion that you have of a hunter. Now, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to start my character out, because I'm going to be making the Stormwind run, which, if you don't know, it's when a night elf starts in Teldrassil, comes to Darkshore, takes the boat over to the wetlands, and then runs through the wetlands to Dunmarog, and then to Ironforge, and then takes the tram from Ironforge all the way over to Stormwind. Now, I'm not going to be questing in Stormwind or in that area. The reason I'm doing it is so I can get the flight paths, because I am on a PvP server. So I want to be able to have those flight paths so that whenever I do want to get over there, it's a lot easier and I'm less likely to be ambushed or attacked. So let's go ahead and get started. So the pet that I'm starting with, and I'm not going to keep him because there's another one that I want to get whenever I level up a little bit, is I just got a saber from outside of Darnassus.
Farewell.
From there, I've been using it, and I'll use it to help me get through the wetlands. I haven't named it, and I'm going to continue to call it because once I name it, I want to keep it. And that brings us to the first thing you need to know about hunters in Classic, is that you can only have a total of 3 pets. Now, I don't mean 3 pets as in 3 pets that you carry with you. No, you can only carry 1 pet with you. You can only have 3 total. And I'll show you whenever I get to a stable here in Aberdeen. So you got to be very selective about the pets that you get. Now, 2 of the pets I want to get are very rare, and I want to get them and use them. The first one that I'm going to get is going to be the Ghost Saber. And for those of you that don't know, it is the very first spirit beast you can get. It's not classified as a spirit beast, but it is a ghost. It is a snow saber that is transparent, and hunters can tame it and use it. There's a little bit of a process to get to it, and I have to be a few more levels before I can get that. But once I get it, it'll be a very unique pet that very few other people have. The other rare pet that I want to get is called Maznarach. Saying, Stephan, what is Maznarach? Maznarach is the pink tall strider. Yes, I said pink. It is one of the rarest pets for an Alliance character to have, because the Alliance has to go to Mulgar outside the Taran City. But anyway, outside the Taran City, and wait for someone to get on that, to take a quest in order to get that animal to spawn. Now, it's a lot easier if you have a friend that has a Horde character that can do that for you. Most of the time, that's not going to happen, because if you have a friend they're not a horde, they're an alliance. And in the Classic, I don't think you can do both horde and alliance at the same time. I haven't tried, but I don't think you can. So you gotta wait for someone to spawn this creature, and then you gotta tame it before they get there. It'll be a lot harder here on a PvP server, but I'm really looking forward to it. I'll record that as well. That'll probably be the next video that I do, because I can get that. Now, remember what I was saying about the stables? You can only have 3 pets. Here you can see I have the one that's with me, and I have my 2 pet spots. I'm going to purchase one more for 5 silver. Now the next one is 5 gold. So you got to be really sure about the pets that you're going to have whenever you do this.
Good luck, friend.
Now, like I said, the pets that I'm going to get are those 2 that I mentioned before. Oh man, I have missed this place so much. Very important. Always set your Hearthstone to where you want to be.
Feel free to browse.
I want to come back to here because I already finished all the quests on Teldrassil. So there's no reason for me to go back there just yet. But this is the first part of going to Stormwind, is catching the boat. And this will be a lot of fun. The next thing that I want to go over is hunters have a lot of useless spells. And so you got to be very selective of the spells that you do get, because there's a lot of different tracking spells, and then different like ancillary spells that don't really do much, like Eyes of the Beast, Eyes of the Hawk, stuff like that. That really doesn't do much but add flavor to your character. And when you're saving up for your mount at level 40, it's very important that you save as much silver as possible, because your mount is 100 gold, and that's not including the training for it as well. Now you might be saying, but gold is so easy to get. In retail, it's easy to get. I am level 11, and I have 21 silver. Keep in mind, I just spent 5 silver to get a stable slot. The next thing is when you have your pet. See, I have my pet here. When you have your pet and your pet levels, your pet gets training points just like you. And you use those training points to buy skills like this. Now, this pet isn't high enough to get Growl, because this pet is only level 8. And now you might be wondering, well, you're level 11, but your pet is level 8. What's going on? The thing to remember is that in Classic, you had to level your pets. Your pets leveled with you. That, made it more difficult whenever you wanted to have multiple pets, or you wanted to have pets, like you wanted to get a lower level pet, because you had to level up to you. Now that was easy enough to do by taking it into an instance with you, and it would gain like 3 or 4 levels every single kill. It would grow very rapidly that way, until it got to within about 5 to 7 levels of you, and then it started slowing down. And it wouldn't reach its full potential until it got to be the same level as you. That's why I want to go and get Maznarach as soon as possible, before I get too high of a level, because I want it to level with me. And that will probably be my main pet for questing. For PvP, what I'm probably going to do is get either a bat or an owl, because of the ability they have called Screech, and that's really cool as well. Now, there are 2 things to remember about pets as well. Is that, 1, you can buy certain skills for your pets, which generally revolve around their armor and resistances, and the oh so useful ability called growl, which is their taunt to keep enemies off of you. And that's super important, especially for something that I'll show you later that happens with hunters. That doesn't happen with hunters in retail. The other way to get skills for your pet is to tame another pet that has the skills that you want. That's where only having 3 stable slots really sucks, because you have the three stable slots, and that means that you always have to keep one free in order to tame something else, so you can get a skill that your pets might not have. It's gonna be pretty challenging, because later on I'm gonna need to tame Shadow Stalkers in Stranglethorn Vale in order to get a prowl ability. So that way, the pets, my feline pets, can sneak around. So another thing that you may have noticed is that I have a dagger as a hunter. But wait, hunters use bows. That is very true. In Classic, hunters were able to hunters and any other class were able to carry a melee weapon and a ranged weapon, which made so much more sense whenever you think about standard RPG things. Was I on the wrong boat? I got on the wrong boat. How about that? Well, that's annoying. So that's good to know that I need to change that. But coming back to the melee weapons, and that was especially helpful for hunters, because hunters could get dual wield, which was really helpful because you could get you could have 2 swords, each of them enchanted, and have double the stats to help with your ranged attacks, to increase your stats so your ranged attacks did more damage. And that was so helpful and so amazing. Plus, it made some really cool looking options, because there are swords that you can get. There's a couple of swords you can get that are one-handed that sheathe on the back. And those are really nice. I personally really liked having pole arms just for aesthetics. Plus, most of them had the best stats for what I wanted to do. And I don't have to switch back and forth, so you can see I have my dagger and my bow equipped at the same time. It's just whichever ability that I want to use, that's the one I use. Now, I need to set my macros and my buttons how I want them, so that way they work the way I want them to. Now, another thing is the talent trees. I personally really liked the hunter talent trees. I felt that they worked relatively well, because in Beast Mastery, you have these ones that help you speed up your attacks and your pet health, improved revive pet and thick hide, like just increasing your pet and your animalistic abilities. And each row has something really useful, like thick hide, unleashed fury, bestial swiftness. and then improved men pet, ferocity, and all of that. And then you go to, like, say, marksmanship. You have efficiency, which cuts down your mana cost. And you have lethal shots, which increases your critical strike chance. And then improved arcane shot, which reduces the cooldown of it. And then you got mortal shots, which increases your critical strike damage bonus, and so on and so forth. This is what I normally went with, marksmanship, when doing PvP. I would be very selective. I wouldn't do improved hunter's mark. I would do Hawkeye, like all the ones on this row, and then mortal shots, improved serpent sting, and ultimately getting down to true shot aura, and then I would do the self benefit ones. So humanoid slaying, very good for PvP. Because it increases all damage caused against humanoid targets. And then wing clip is really good because it slows people down, especially if they're coming after you. Then survivalist, and I think that's all I could get those three on here. And then beast mastery, of course, endurance training, improved aspect, thick hide, and all of those ones. So I had a really good spec for classic PvP, and I really, really liked it, and it worked out really well for me. Something that a lot of people seem to not remember either about pets is, I'm sure you've noticed this, the happiness bar. You need to keep that happiness bar up at all times. And to do that, you need to feed your pet. Now, because I don't plan to keep this pet, I've been being very careful and very selective with that, because I don't have that much meat. I only have 2 left. So I'm not too concerned with gaining loyalty from this particular pet. What that means is that the more loyal they are, the more damage they do, and the more they really listen to what you tell them to do. So I believe there's 5 loyalty levels. So you got loyalty level. It's at level 2, which is unruly, which means they won't stick very close to you. They'll be slower to attack. They don't really do everything that you're doing. So this person that's running with me is going to Stormwind as well. We'll probably end up, going the same direction and everything. As you can see, we are in the next stage of our trek, which is to go all the way around here. The biggest things that we're going to run into here, if I remember correctly, are some crocolisks near the end of this stretch in here, and then some Dragon Maw Orc clan members in the mountains. Another thing that people have forgotten about Classic here with hunters is ammo. We have a quiver if you have a bow, and an ammo sack if you have a gun. And elves start out with a bow and need to learn how to use a gun from a weapons trainer. Dwarves start out with a gun and need to learn how to use a bow. So, but you gotta have ammo with you at all times. Now, I have 2 different kinds of ammo right now because I upgraded to level 10 arrows, but I still had some low-level arrows. Now you'll notice that when he died, he went to unhappy. That's because I let him die. That's why I fed him, and that should help increase his happiness. Now, when a pet gets down to be too low for their happiness, they will leave. They will either attack you or they will just run away. That's why it's very important to get them up to loyalty level 5. Because with loyalty level 5, you have to lose all those loyalty levels before they leave. And it takes a really long time to do that. But it also takes a really long time to gain those levels. You never want to waste ammo, especially ammo that you bought, and you really don't want to waste anything either. You'll see in my bags, in my one bag here, I have all these different kinds of food and drink, and I have some herb stuff here, an extra bag, and some consumables right here as well. So yeah, so you got ammo here and all of that. So essentially, the person I'm running with here is saying that there's so many people that they love it, and I agree. It's amazing. I didn't think that Classic would be this popular. For the last couple of days, here on day 2 and 3, I had to come home from work over lunch and get into the queue, so that way, whenever I would get home from work, I would have just a little bit of time to wait before I could get in, and it was absolutely fantastic. It worked out beautifully, and she's going to get attacked if she's not careful. Well, there's nothing. Now, as a hunter, I do get aspect of the cheetah, but I have not leveled up high enough to get aspect of the cheetah yet. So I am probably gonna. My pet is probably gonna run away after this. Damn, that spider's fast. He was really interested in us. So let's take a look here. So yeah, I'm still at loyalty level 2, but I'm also out of food, which means the next time I res him, I'm not going to be able to make him happy, which means that he's probably, yeah, like I said, he's going to run away. But that's fine, because it's not a pet that I want to keep anyway. And the reason I want to keep it is because in the original Classic, my first character was also a hunter, and it was a male night elf hunter. I tamed this same cat outside Darnassus on that character, and that cat has stuck with that character from original Classic all the way through to Battle for Azeroth. She's still my favorite pet to use. Now I have spirit beasts, I have rare pets, I have other pets that I really like. Alright, so we got past the orcs just fine. Now we just gotta hope that we don't run into any gankers. Thing to remember about hunters as well in Classic is the dead zone. That is a zone of about 10 yards where your bow and arrow or gun will be ineffective and you can't quite reach them with your melee weapons. The thing that you want to try to do is continuously try and keep people out of the dead zone. And that will become your chore, especially if you go into PvP. It is a lot easier when you're fighting against the regular mobs, or or you're doing quests and stuff. if you go on against, you know, like say a mountain boar right here, you can send in your pet, let your pet do its thing, and then just shoot it continuously. Just do your thing. So remember what I was saying about the ghost saber? It's right here. This guy has one. Right there. So now there are two ways to get into Dunmarogue from here. We're taking the secondary route because we sought to get the flight path. The secondary route is up here and around the corner. Oh, Valley of Kings. Yes, please. I love it. I really am enjoying this, and I'm really enjoying doing this. It's just that this particular like classic feels more like an adventure. Yes, there's lots of running. Yes, it takes so much longer to get anywhere, but it just feels like there's more to it. It feels like it's more epic. You're able to do more. I don't know how else to explain it. It feels more epic. So if we would have gone up the first road, it would have brought us out right here instead of down here. At this point, we're going to go through Keranos, which unfortunately there is no flight path through there. But I might be able to buy some meat for my pet and be on our way. Normally, what I do is I'll just keep whatever meat that I loot off of the mobs that I'm killing and just use that, because it doesn't need to be cooked meat. It can be any kind of meat. It can be raw meat. It can be, you know, seafood. It just, as long as it's meat, it'll work, you know, to keep them happy. The reason I chose to do this video while I was running to Stormwind is because the run to Stormwind is very boring, and I wanted to do another content video for you about hunters, because while there are a lot of really bad hunters out there and all they do is just hit auto shot and just let it go, they don't do anything at all to be useful for, you know, I absolutely hate hunters that do that. I'm really good at making macros and stuff, and I'll do another short video about those once I get them made. I had a really killer macro that caused my pet to attack and cast Hunter's Mark at the same time, and I was able to have it linked to a button on my keyboard. It was just very, very useful. I'm really good at that. And I need to rearrange my buttons so that way, you know, I can have my my archery in one row and my melee in another, because I don't remember all of these buttons. So just run along here. I don't think I'm gonna get through Keranos. Nope. I mean, no wonder everyone in Warcraft is in such good shape. You know, they run freaking everywhere. I'm gonna feel bad if that priest dies. It always cracks me up. They built a bridge over a frozen river. Dunmarok people. Love it. It's beautiful. Beautiful. So, my guild and I were having discussions last night about where certain flight paths are. I think we're running into like Mandela effect stuff here because I distinctly they claim that the flight path used to be outside Ironforge here, like in this area. I don't remember it ever being outside Ironforge, but I could be wrong. It says, and they said that they didn't move it inside until later, but I don't. Like I said, that doesn't. I don't remember that. And another thing is that I distinctly remember another flight path being available in the northern part of Stranglethorn, right when you enter from Duskwood. And one of my guild members said, "There's nothing there. There's no camp there. There's nothing." And I don't remember. Like, it's one of those things that I don't remember, or I do remember, but it's inaccurate. And I'm not sure like what's going on or anything like that. So it I don't know. It's crazy. I think I lost the priest finally. Oh, that's the so you get the flight path over here. Yeah, there she is. I don't think I'm going to get any leveling done tonight, but I am going to get the stuff done that I need to get done. And I told, like, I'm technically, like, one of the head officers in my guild. I'm the one that started it and brought everyone together and all that fun stuff. But, I told my officers that, you know, the first raid isn't really going to be open just yet. So I'm not going to be overly concerned with making and do all that stuff. So I'm just, you know, taking it slow. I'm gonna still do everything I can to, you know, get to level 60 as quickly as possible. But I'm not gonna, you know, grind it out because I'll just get so burnt out and so bored. And I want to experience it. I want to have fun with it because that's what a game's for. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Getting my character to level 60 right off the bat. I want to experience the adventure and experience everything going on with the characters here. For those of you that don't know, this guy over here, he has a quest that you can do here in the Deep Run Tram, which is really, really interesting, where you have to capture 5 rats with this flute. But I'm not going to worry about it right now. So I'm just gonna have fun on the tram ride. And even after you get the flight path and everything, it takes about the same amount of time between the tram and the griffin. The only difference is that you can die in the tram or fall off the tram, where neither of those things can happen with the griffin. However, the tram is free, and when you're trying to pinch pennies, any free way to get where you need to go, take it. So that's why we set the hearthstone back to Aberdeen, so I can go back there, and then I'm going to run over to Mulger. Love these old pictures. They're fantastic. So, and something that I'm going to do on this character that some people are probably going to be like, no, don't do it, is I'm going to take
How
engineering. Because I can't get men pet until level 12? Dang.
See you soon.
Where's my pet trainer?
Great to meet you.
There we go.
Safe travels.
So that's how you train for specific stuff from the trainer. Like, remember I said
What's
that
on
it's
your
all
mind?
about, they use, it's all like stamina, resistance, and armor, and all of that, up until you get to level 60, and you get growl and everything.
Watch your back.
So,
Talk to me. See you soon.
and you can untrain your pet just like you untrain your talents, because you can only have 4 active skills on your pet at one time. So unlike in retail, where you can have all of them, you can only have 4. This isn't the bar. It's this one. No, this is the weapon shop. That's also the weapon shop. Oh yeah, and there's no auction house here. There's no gateway to the backside of the keep, and there's no bank. This is not a bank. See, this is what Stormwind looks like. There's no dock. There's, yeah. So I want to learn mining. Which I think is back in that other building that I was just in. Yep, mining
Well met.
supplier. That's to browse the
Keep your feet on the
goods. Get the trainers upstairs. Yep, he's right here.
You got my attention. Very good.
So, I just lost a loyalty level. That was that sound you heard. And he's now to rebellious. So I need to find some food, which I'm not sure where in Old Town or in Dwarven District it is. There has to be one. There we go.
Hi, you're a tall one.
Cool.
Be seeing you.
So, got that, and then I forgot to get my pickaxe. because you need to have a pickaxe in your inventory in order to mine.
Great to meet you. Safe travels.
Yeah, I gotta go. Gotta go to Trade District. I think this is it, actually. Yep, this is it. This is the tavern. And there's no one to buy from in here. Well, that was a waste of time. Alright, well, that's all I have to say about hunters for right now. And we are in Stormwind. So, have a wonderful rest of your evening. And we will see you in the plains of Azeroth.